my sins the ringing master. And these people who were up here when you came, not all of these, unfortunately, are the ringers. We're going to give you a short demonstration of ringing, and then I shall give you a brief talk, and then after that we'll give you you'll have the opportunity to go up and see the bells themselves and see a couple of them being rung. Okay? So let's bring Plain Hunt on 7 again, please. Ring again, please, Donald. Feet on the floor, please. Flat on the floor, in case any ropes. Feet flat on the floor, please. In case you get a rope around your foot, you may well go up there. People don't fit through those little holes. Okay? They're not that loud. I'm louder than the bells are usually. Wait.
Look 2. Treble's going, she's gone.
Backgrounds now. Come on, Fred, stop mucking about. That's all. Stand. I'll bet if we run the same method as the rest of it.
Yeah. Excellent. Excellent.
Alright, there are 8 bells in the tower. For every bell... Am I already? There are 8 bells in the tower. For every bell, you usually have a ringer, one ringer. The next time you hear church bells being rung like this, because some bells are chimed, there's a Catholic church down the road where they put their poor little bells in a tin shed. Poor, sad little things they are. And they ring them electrically with a motor. But in a bell tower like this, there's one ringer per bell. 8 bells in the tower, tuned to the key of E flat. 8 bells, so an octave, which means that the treble, which is the name that we give the lightest bell, which is the one that's on the end of this rope, sounds the note of E flat, and the tenor, which is the name that we give to the heaviest bell, also sounds the note of E flat, and all the rest of the bells fit in between. The treble weighs 5 hundredweight. The tenor weighs 18 3/4 hundredweight, which is about the weight of an ordinary, of a medium-sized family saloon car. And as you can see, one person can ring that. Ron, as I'm sure he won't mind me telling you, celebrated his 89th birthday in May, and he's been ringing for more years than anyone will care to remember. He was here. He wasn't here when the bells were installed, but not far off. But a ring of bells can be reasonably considered to be a musical instrument in and of itself. We can't play music, i.e. we can't play tunes, because there's too long a period between the action and the sound. So us pulling the rope and a bong, it's too slow. It might have sounded fast, what we were doing, but it actually takes too long. What we can ring are predetermined patterns, which produce musical, what we call changes. And what we ran there was Plain Hunt on 7. Plain Hunt is one of the foundations of methods, which are awfully dreadfully complicated things, which basically mean that you can swap the bells around, swap the order of the bells around in a preordained pattern, so everyone knows what they were doing. You noticed that we ran Plain Hunt on 7, and none of us we didn't have a bit of card or any music in front of us or anything to tell us what to do. The purpose is that you remember it, you learn it, and you remember it, and you just have to go into the filing cupboard that you consider to be your brain and dig out whatever is relevant, and then go from there. There have been bells in this tower for quite some number of years. We don't exactly know how long. We know there's been a continuously working change ringing society in this tower, St Margaret's Society of Barking, of which we are all members, all apart from Donald, who's an honorary member, he being a member of another tower. The St Margaret's Society has been going since 1871, and we form a continuous and unbroken line to those first ringers who rang the bells in 1871, though there were bells here before that. The oldest bell in the tower is 7th, which is this one over here, which you see when you go upstairs. That was cast in 1753. And the youngest bell in the tower, I say the youngest, not the newest, for reasons that you'll discover later on. The youngest bell in the tower is the 3rd, and that was cast in 1978. We call that the Jubilee bell. We recast, that was cast because the bell it replaced, there was a third bell there. The bell it replaced was duff, should we say. Didn't sound very nice, and it had been tuned as much as they possibly could. They couldn't make it any better, so they decided to break it up and put it in the pot and recast it, and they came up with a much better bell. Okay. All the bells in the tower were cast by London bell founders, either by Whitechapel Bell Foundry, which is one of the oldest continuously trading companies in the world, actually, and which is still on its current. The site's been on for many hundreds of years on the Whitechapel Road near Fieldgate Street, off of Fieldgate Street. The rest of some of the bells were cast by Whitechapel Bell Foundry, as they're known now. Others of the bells were cast by a founder called Warner's, John Warner's, which worked out of a foundry in Cripplegate, which is no longer there, mainly because Cripplegate, and all the surrounding area was flattened by the Germans. They did a handy demolition job on that, and the Barbican site now stands on where Warner's would have been, or was. Now you might think it's rather apt that all the bells were cast by London bell founders, but of course when most of the bells were cast, certainly when the 7th was cast in 1753, this wasn't London. This was most definitely deepest, darkest Essex, verdant, green and leafy, and yes. So there wasn't. So it's. It might look apt now, but of course it was not. It was by no means certain. However, Whitechapel Bell Foundry did cast a lot of the bells in and around London, in the home counties. There's only one other existing bell foundry, which is Taylors of Loughborough, which is in the Midlands, and they had their domain, as you might say, and they cast a lot of the bells around in that part of the world. But the one doesn't necessarily follow from the other, because there's a tower at West Ham with 10 bells, and they were cast by Taylors of Loughborough, so the one doesn't necessarily follow from the other. Yes.